Time now for the Peachland Personality Show, brought to you each week at this time by State Senator Rick Gallo. The show will begin after this message. State Senator Rick Gallo is pleased to bring you the Peachland Personality Show every week here on the Peach 99.3. Rick is also proud to represent you in the legislature in Baton Rouge and wants you to know that the interests of all the people in his Senate district come first. Please feel free to call him at any time with any concerns you may have. His office number is 318-251-5019. This is Bill Crowe welcoming you to our continuing series of interviews here on Peachland Personalities with candidates running for office in our area. Our guest today is Louis Jones, who's a candidate for 3rd Judicial District Judge. Welcome, Louis.
Thank you, Bill.
Well, Louis, for our listening audience that may not know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and what motivated you to run for 3rd Judicial District Judge.
I've been living here since 1976. My family moved here when I was in the 7th grade. I graduated from Ruston High School, Louisiana Tech, and LSU, and have been back practicing since I graduated from LSU Law School. I've been a lawyer here for over 24 years, and I practice criminal and family law primarily, and I've practiced all over North Louisiana. I've been in a lot of courtrooms, and I know that we are very fortunate to have had the judges that we have, but I also believe that we could do things a little differently, that we could make our court system better, and I would like the chance to serve the people of Lincoln and Union Parish as their next judge and make some changes to try to make our system better.
Well, you kind of stole my thunder on my second question, which was, what, if anything, you would do different as district judge?
And I've got a couple of ideas. Well, I've got several, but I'll talk to you about a couple. One would be in the area of family law. Anyone that's been through a custody case and a divorce, I'm sure they realize that it can take months to get into court to have a custody trial. And what I would like to do in custody cases is to come up with some type of policy that would fast-track those cases to at least let people get into court and get an interim order just so everyone knows what their rights are as it relates to the child. I would like to do that quickly. I think that's in the child's best interest and, quite frankly, the party's best interest. If you have two people that are getting along, it shouldn't be any problem to come up with some type of interim order. If they're not getting along, that's even more of a reason to need some type of interim order where everyone knows what rights they have as far as the child and who has visitation at what times. I just think letting those cases go for months does not benefit the child or anyone else. On the criminal side, what I would like to do, and I will tell you, about 75% of the cases filed in our court are criminal. There were almost 3,000 criminal cases filed last year in Lincoln and Union Parish. And a lot of those people are first-time offenders. A lot of them get probation, and I'm talking about the nonviolent offenders. But by far, the majority of those people have some type of substance abuse problem.
Right.
And what I would like to do is have more and more random drug testing. I would also like to have more drug counseling and drug treatment for our people that are on probation. As it is currently, they see their probation officer normally once a month. And if they're drug tested, it's usually on that same day. It's the first Thursday of every month generally. I would like there to be more testing, have it done more randomly, because I would like for these people to come off of probation with less of a substance abuse problem than they started probation with. And I think we need to get a better handle on that.
Well, Louis, let's say from a budget standpoint, do you see any problems with the right now with the budget that the 3rd Judicial District Judgeship faces?
I know there have been times in the past where money has been kind of tight. They have, over the last couple of years, in Farmerville, the judges have had a probation officer working directly in their office rather than misdemeanor defendants on probation being supervised by the sheriff's office. They are supervised by a probation officer employed by the judge's office, which has allowed the judges to collect probation fees. And I believe that has made a substantial difference in the judge's office budget. So I don't know of a budget problem that they have at this time.
I've heard, Louis, that the physical facilities might need some upgrading. Have you noticed anything like that?
I have, and I know they're doing some upgrading here in Lincoln Parish. I understand they're getting new carpet maybe even this week. It would help to have more room for the judge's office, and hopefully that will be able to be accomplished since the sheriff's office will shortly be moving to their new facility. There should be space opening up in the courthouse in Lincoln Parish for that. I know in Union Parish, the sheriff's office also has their own facility that they've moved into. I know that there have been some substantial changes made in the judge's office in Union, especially as far as security within the judge's office. They are also making repairs to the roof, which will prevent the judge's staff from having to cover everything in plastic every time they leave in the evenings. So I think some changes are being made as far as space that should make the judge's office okay in that area.
Well, Lewis, as we close, tell us why you think the people of Union and Lincoln parishes should vote for you for district judge.
If they wanted someone to replace a roof on their house, they would want someone with experience. If they had a medical problem and needed a doctor, they would want a doctor with experience. I believe we need a judge with experience, and I believe that experience comes from the courtroom, and that is what I have. My practice for 24 years now has been primarily in the courtroom. I do more civil and criminal law than anyone else that is talking about running for this position, and I believe it is that experience that uniquely qualifies me for this job.
Well, Lewis, I know you're on a busy schedule, both professionally and as a candidate, and I want to thank you for joining us today and sharing your information with our audience.
Thank you, and thank you so much for giving me this chance.
Thank you, Lewis.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining us. Tune in again next week for Peachland Personalities.